Before getting started, I'd like to congratulate our new Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. I'm truly excited to see how this is going to affect Canada and its future. And if I'm going to use your campaigns as a sign of how it's going to go down, I truly believe that positive change is on its way. I'm sure I'm not alone in thinking that this election is one for the books. The Liberal Party of Canada, according to the ads, campaigns, commercials, is one that stands for real change. And today, I'm here to talk about just that. I'm sure you and I, Mr. Prime Minister, will get along just fine. You promised us lower taxes for the middle class, higher taxes for the rich, higher student grants, the legalization of marijuana, also investment on clean energy, and there's also that plan to kill our first past the post electoral system. I will link a page that explains a little bit more about this. A lot of promises were made during these elections, but we all know that the best propaganda wins the most votes, right? Mr. Prime Minister, the country believed in you. Now it's time to prove to them that they've made the right decision. Before I get into the specifics about why I'm making this video, you all need to know a little bit about my voting history. Like many people my age, I've never voted before this election. Sure, I didn't believe that a single vote can make a change, but really it's the fact that my vote would have been uneducated. How can you have a proper opinion if you don't have the real facts? I understand the privilege that voting is, and that many people don't have this kind of chance, but I still see and saw a corrupt system. This caused a whole lot of trouble for me while trying to have credible debates with my peers. My opinion was marked as less valid and brushed off as you didn't even vote. What happened to freedom of speech? I really don't know. Well, this year is my turn to join the conversation and make my voice heard. I've spent the last couple months doing research because this year I was going to make an educated vote. The real question, though, lies behind the reason as to why I felt the need to have to do so much research. I should be comfortable with the tabloids and what they feed me about the politics. I mean, something as important as who is going to rule our country, whatever you want to call it, should only be about facts, no? I'm no expert, but I want my voice heard. Sure, I'm just one hippie girl, but this is my opinion. On October 19th, I made a conscious decision to go against my ego and to finally vote. I've been thinking about it for the last year, and this year was my year to vote. But how was I going to educate myself? Of course, I was going to use some online research. The night before Election Day, I made my official decision of the party I was going to vote for. I got to a polling station and was turned away after a few minutes of waiting for a possible solution for my situation. What happened is I had neglected to research above all of the research I had to do about the parties and their numerous candidates was all the things revolving the how to vote, the rules and regulations, and the ID requirements and all of the other stuff. I guess technically in my case, my only option would have been to vote by proxy, which means I would have had to make my vote and my decision before the Tuesday before elections. So that falls on October 13th, right? So you're telling me, as a born and raised Canadian citizen, ready to vote in a federal election at a polling area within my country, I was unable to check my ballot box? Sure, call it poor planning on my part prior to the vote, but can I just mention this one thing? This year, I actually tried. How is all this something I didn't know about? Heck, I even called the candidate I was going to vote for personally, and even he couldn't help me out, though he did appreciate my dedication and support. We need a better way to educate the public on how to vote. For people like me who live a lifestyle in which permanent residence is not necessarily a part of our lives, we need to find a way to get everyone engaged and every voice to matter, even the ones of the non-voters. Today I wear my Don't Push My Buttons sweater. I've had this sweater for over a decade now, and it hasn't had as much of a meaning as it does today. The 2015 Canadian elections has pushed my buttons. According to the official polls, my vote is silent. It is non-existent. I'm equally frustrated and disappointed. I hope this video can serve as my voice, our voice. The way Canadians vote needs to change. I want my voice to be heard right now. This is my vote, and I'm asking you to help me cast it. This video is my only way of being heard. I vote for a new electoral system. I dream of a world where everyone's opinions matter. Why can't we come up with a system that accommodates this? If people aren't voting, let's ask ourselves why. Let them be a voice and let them explain why they haven't voted. Make an honest effort to engage them. Let's fix the problem. How am I voting for a representative of a certain district but actually voting for a national leader? Why can't I vote for the values of a party I want and then vote for a local representative who seems fit to represent those values separately? I'm not mad at the parties. I'm not mad at the new electoral act implemented by Mr. Harper. I'm not mad at the people working at the polling stations. I'm upset with the system we have in place, and I truly believe it is time for a change. So for all of you out there who are listening and haven't gotten a chance to have your voice heard, because you're in the same situation as I am, or haven't gotten the chance to make an educated vote, this part is for you. I'll save you a little frustration for the next election, in the case that it doesn't change by then, so that you can focus on researching for who you want to vote for. Being a millennial with a frustration, I naturally took my problem online to Facebook. Amongst all the angry responses with no basis in reality, I learned a few things. Let me read you some of the comments. 1. There are many more policies and rules to the voting process than you might think. Stay informed and make sure you know what is required to make your vote count. All right, sure. I know now. 2. There is a lawyer in Toronto who is taking on anyone that was refused at the polls for free. Wait a minute. There's other reasons why people are being refused at the polls? 3. Someone who lives at the address with you and is registered to vote with ID can swear an oath and vouch that you live at this address you say you do. This works very well, unless the people you live with are in the same situation as you are. 4. You need to have a current address and be at the poll closest to that address. Yeah, well, I'm one of those humans that has a permanent address at her parents' place, but I travel everywhere and my life is on the road. I don't sign a lease because I honestly don't know where I'll be week by week, sometimes month to month. Either way, it shouldn't be this hard, right? 5. You can vote by proxy, but this requires a more or less stable address, no? 6. The special ballot, also known as proxy, the ballot that you need to register for before the Tuesday prior to the elections. The process is not easy, and it was not made aware of in time. 7. Call the office of the party you are going to vote for in your writing. They will help you. Let me tell you, I actually directly called the rep and I asked him for his input. He thanked me for my support and said that there is actually nothing he can do to help me in this situation. If you have any identification with your name and any piece with your address, you can vote at the polling station associated with that address. Again, this is only helpful if you're not constantly moving around, like I am. 9. If your info is not local, then you can supplement and register at a local polling station using an online bill or other documents showing a local address. Another great solution, sure, except for the fact of people with my lifestyle don't tend to have many utilities in their name. I live on the road from commune to commune, couch to couch. It's so hard to have a voice as a hippie, or as I'd like to say, someone who is a little unorthodox. Now, let me think. What? There is such a gray area here. Why is this so complicated? I am trying to vote federally within my federation. How can I not vote?